Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 370. Phil Graham here. I am super glad that you are here because I've got a great show for you guys today. I'm going to be sharing the 8 reasons why most Facebook advertisers fail. So in all my years of experience running ads, I've seen almost everything, and there are tons of reasons why advertisers fail. In fact, there's a lot more than 8. But today, I'm going to share 8 of the more common reasons with you guys, because some of these mistakes that a lot of advertisers make, even some of the experienced ones, can really potentially hurt your ad performance. And I don't want you guys making mistakes. So welcome to the show this week, my friends. It's June 11th. How are you guys doing? Are you enjoying the early start of summer? I know we are. We had a barbecue this last weekend. It was a blast. We had barbecued chicken, and it was just a lot of fun, some great family time, and lots of great sun. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. And before we get into the content, if you guys are looking for any one-on-one coaching to learn ads the right way, or if you're looking to have somebody run your ads for you for either one of those things, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I would love to connect with you. Let's jump right into the 8 reasons why most advertisers fail. I do want to preface this by saying that sometimes a broken clock is still right twice a day. So sometimes you can even make mistakes or do things in a non-optimal way and still have some success and get lucky. But it's not about that. You want to make sure that you're doing things as optimally as possible. And I'm going to share what my version of that is and what I think that is as it relates to running ads, because I've seen a lot of different people run ads. I've seen failures, I've seen successes, and so much data. So let's jump right into it. Number 1, this is one of the biggest ones, you guys. So many advertisers randomly run ads with no actual strategy. They just randomly turn ads on and off. They're not utilizing data, and they aren't making smart decisions about what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. That is not the right way to run ads, my friends. You need to have a strategy. It is so important. You need to know what objective you're using, how long you're going to give it, how long you should let the ad run, because there are so many mistakes that are made when ads are just run randomly. I've even seen a lot of so-called experts just randomly run ads. You do not want that, especially for your business. So my suggestion to you guys is to have a defined strategy. Like, for example, when I'm running ads, I know, depending on the budget and the audience size and different things like that, there's tons of variables, but I know how long I'm going to let something run before I either cut it off or change it. I'm not going to let it go 2 days and then just shut it off. That's way too soon in almost every situation. So I have a strategy based off of data, based off of skill and experience that I lean on, and that makes a big difference. And there's a lot of different strategies you can use. I like to teach a lot of my favorite ones on this podcast. Have a strategy, have a plan, and stick to your plan, because when you run them randomly, you start making decisions based off of emotion instead of data. And when you're doing that based off of emotion, you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes and do a lot of things that cause you to potentially lose money. Number 2, another big mistake advertisers make a lot is they use AI in the wrong way. Whether it's ChatGPT or Llama or Gemini or whatever the case, any AI, they use it in a way that actually hurts them more than serves them. Now, I love AI. I use it all the time, and I'm really good at it. But what I don't recommend is just having AI spit out your ad copy and you just put that in there word for word. I see a lot of people make mistakes like that If you're a competitor, I love it. I love competing against it, but I don't want you guys making that same mistake. So what I recommend you guys use AI for, if you're going to use it, is to use it for a framework or some concepts or even a rough draft of something. And then you combine that with your skill, your talent, your expertise, what you know about your business, what you know about your competitors, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and you mold that into something that's amazing. I've given this analogy before, but it really illustrates it so great. AI is like the best chef's knife in the world. You could give me the chef's knife, I could cut things up pretty good, but if you give that same knife to a five-star chef, they can not only cut stuff up, but they can make a meal that'll just knock your socks off. It's a big difference. The tool is the same, but the skill of the person using it matters. And a lot of advertisers don't realize that, and they just use AI without their skill. Number three, this is a big one. I see a lot of advertisers making this mistake. They have improper expectations for results based off of either the ad type or the audience they're targeting or the budget they're using. Like for a classic example, I've seen advertisers that have a huge Advantage Plus audience. Let's say it's like 100 million people, but they're spending $5 a day on the ad set and they're expecting all kinds of things to happen really fast. Okay, that is classic improper expectations. You're setting yourself up most likely for failure if you have quick expectations for that. Now, is it possible to have success with a small budget? Yes, but you've got to do it in a smart way. Same thing with like video views. Let's say you're running an ad with a campaign objective of video views. That should be primarily how you judge it. That's a great top of the funnel play. And then you can come back in and retarget for sales, for example. But a lot of people don't think of it that way. So make sure that you guys are having the right expectations. I would say the biggest one is budget related, expecting the world for like hardly any money. People have this also with ad agencies. They want to find the cheapest agency and then they wonder why they always fail. They have all these expectations. They have like Ferrari expectations, but a scooter budget. And that's typically not going to work very well. So make sure that you match your expectations to your budget. And if you do have a lower budget, it's okay, but you have to be even smarter about it if you don't have a large budget. It's still possible to succeed, but you got to be smarter about it. You got to use data and really use skill to give yourself the best chance for success. Number four, this is a big mistake. I've actually mentioned this many times because it's so common. So many advertisers turn ads off way too soon and way too often. This is one of the most common ones out of all of them, besides the strategy one. That's just as common, not having a strategy, but turning ads off way too soon. Now, I get why people do it. It's because you're spending money. It's an emotional decision. And if you run an ad, sometimes just for a couple days and you haven't gotten anything from it yet, sometimes people are not used to that. They might panic or just think that they're supposed to change it really fast. You're probably shooting yourself in the foot at that point because you haven't given that ad a chance to have success in a lot of situations. You need to give it some time. Now, I can't just give you a blanket recommendation for how long an ad should run because there's a lot of variables. Your budget, your targeting, your audience size, your business, your goals, like there's a lot of variables. But I will say, probably 95% of the people would turn ads off too soon versus letting them run too long. And there's a lot of people that make that mistake. So please make sure that you're using data to make good decisions and you're giving ads long enough to actually cycle through some of the audience before you make a decision whether to keep it on or turn it off. If I had to just give a general recommendation without knowing anything about your business in general, I would say let it run for at least a couple of weeks unless you have a really large budget. So that's just kind of a general recommendation, but it's no substitute for me knowing about your exact situation. So just kind of take that and do with it what you will, but just try not to be so quick on the trigger to turn things off too fast, because some of our best ads took a few weeks or even longer to really kick in and do well. But there were certain data points that I saw that led me to believe that there's a chance they might eventually do well. And they ended up being some of our biggest winners. So do not make the mistake of turning things off too fast. Number 5, this is a big one. There's so many people that love to listen to the fake gurus, the influencers, and really just follow the herd when it comes to marketing. And I think the main reason why people do this is it's either like get rich quick or it's just like a dopamine rush. They want some hope. And there's so many people that are out there that are willing to scam you into believing that they can give you that hope, whether it's in a free YouTube video or a paid course or whatever the case may be. They've got this hope. And what they do is they act like you can get really fast success, sometimes with like hardly any work at all, just magically starts happening. There's people like this everywhere. There's so many people that teach this kind of stuff that don't even run ads for clients, that don't have experience, that don't have skill. There's even bozos that are doing this that are just using AI to answer questions and they have literally no skill whatsoever. It's crazy. And they're literally playing with other people's brands like Russian roulette. It's scary out there, my friends. So be very careful. Is it easy to succeed? Is there like magic buttons? No. Is it doable to succeed? Absolutely. It takes work. It takes skill. It takes effort. A lot of people don't want to hear about that, but I think most people down deep know that that's true and that's normal. And they eventually get to a point, sometimes they get scammed and lose a lot of time and money first, unfortunately, but they get to a point where they know that they need to put in the work. And so don't listen to fake gurus that tell you otherwise or the get rich quick idiots, because it's just not true what they're saying. Mistake number 6 that causes a lot of people to lose money are using templates that essentially promise great results. This kind of coincides with the fake gurus. A lot of times they'll sell you like what they would consider their $1 million templates or their magic templates, whatever they want to call it. There's nothing wrong with a template. You know, I could even sell a template, but I would not market it in a way that makes it seem like if you use the template, you're going to automatically make a certain amount of money, because that's not how it works. That's not true. In fact, you have to change things. And at that point, like there's limited value of the template itself. I'll give you guys a perfect example. So I've worked with all kinds of different clients in different industries. And there was an exact period of time where I was working with 2 different dentists at the same time, but they were in different states, so they were not competing against each other. So for one dentist, I noticed we had this ad that was absolutely crushing it. It was insane. It was so good. We almost had to turn it off. It was like too good. So I was like, well, it's working for this dentist. Let me definitely use it for this other dentist in the other state, because this is amazing. Well, when we used it for the other dentist, guess what? It did horrible. Word for word, the same ad, even though it was crushing it in one place. So that is the exact same industry, yet it did great in one place and horrible in another. If that doesn't tell you that templates are not great, I don't know what will. Now, what you could do, or what I would do, like if I sold a template of ads that have done really well, I would tell people to use it as a guide and tweak it and make it your own. But 9 times out of 10, I don't see it marketed that way, and people get misled and they buy it for different reasons. And then they just usually end up losing money. So I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to make that mistake. And lastly, number 8, another big mistake I see advertisers make that really can cost them is so many advertisers are not skilled at data evaluation. In my opinion, you need to not only be skilled at it, you need to be highly skilled at evaluating data and then making decisions based off of that data. That goes back to number 1 with strategy. Part of your strategy should be making decisions based off of data, not emotion. And so you need to get really good at evaluating data if you're running your own ads. Even if you're not running your ads, you should still be good at it. Now, the good news is no matter who you are, I don't care if you're 20 or 80 or in between, no matter who you are, you have the ability to get good at data to get good at running ads if you want to bad enough. So it is absolutely doable. We're going to talk a lot more about conversion optimization and data evaluation and things like that in future episodes. So I got you covered. I also consult with clients on that kind of stuff as well. Also, when it comes to data, don't fall into the trap of only focusing on like one data point. For example, just cost per lead or cost per sale, and that's it. No. Other data points are very important. There's been times, like I said earlier, where a great ad didn't start off that way, but there were some data points that showed me that it might be doing good. The click-through rate, the CPM, the cost per click, the frequency, there's a bunch of different things that you can look at in addition to return on ad spend, cost per lead, cost per sale, etc. So make sure you guys are looking at the whole picture. So these are 8 things that I think are really common that can potentially cause advertisers to fail. And I don't want that to be you. So my friends, I hope this was helpful. Episode 370 is in the books. If you want to get in touch with me again, my website is philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. I would love to connect with you. I've got a great episode coming up next week, and I will talk to you guys then. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.